Hello traders, this is Rich Derrick from tradesight. This is the afternoon look at our scans for the leading stocks for the next session. This is going to be for Tuesday, April 9th, 2013. What we have this session is essentially fairly low volume, but a pretty good upside session. We initiated with this session today with a gap up, quickly fell down to fill that small gap, circle the wagons, and then proceeded to take out today's high and then eventually fill the gap left over from the non-farm payroll number. So as we're sliding into the close here, we're filling that gap and actually putting on a little bit more to the upside. What that's doing with the major ETFs, with the major stocks here, is we're just kind of paired off as far as signals go. We've got some to buy and some to sell without a real dominance either way. Definitely seeing a pretty good move today in Wynn Resorts. That's 3% above the open. We've got a kind of a conflict here, but in the Google shares, we've got a differential buy signal and also a CPS sell signal. It does happen from time to time, and it's just kind of confused. This is below today's open and on increased volume after having a pretty weak day. First Solar also seeing some pretty good volume and having a very weak day here in the shares of BlackBerry. Got a downside CPS sell signal, and we're about 1.5% below the opening level, although it's on very, very low volume. The financials are a little bit more stacked up to the sell side. We only have one little buy signal and a handful or a few signals on the sell side. But again, this is mostly on light volume. And the one thing with the volume bump, which is the NYX, does not have a signal associated with it. The energy names don't have any real signals. ExxonMobil's toying with a conflict signal, so really nothing to do there. Some of these were fairly strong today, like the rig was about 1% above the open, but the PBR was fairly weak today, so it's really just kind of a mixed bag in the energy patch. General's a little bit better to the sell side. A couple of them are on decent volume. Best Buy's got a differential sell signal on a volume bump. Got a CPS downside signal in Caterpillar. Definitely one of the weaker names today, so keep an eye on that. It's kind of mid-range right now, but if it does get a bit lower, it does get interesting on the chart. Volume bump of Disney and Dow. IBM's got that conflict again that we saw in a couple of these earlier issues, but it is on low volume. A lot of volume at Johnson & Johnson. J&J was very weak today, breaking off range high. It's really kind of down to the lower boundary of its active trend channel, so keep an eye on Johnny John there, J&J. Housing names, not really seeing too much there. There's no signals, and a little bit of a volume bump in Toll Brothers on a good performance on the day. Hovnanian HOV was also fairly strong today as well. Transport's a little bit to the sell side here. Got a CPS downside signal in FDX and also UPS. And finally, the commodity patch is a bit conflicted here. AA Alcoa is going to be reporting earnings shortly. That's a pretty big volume bump, plus 243. Monsanto's conflicted. Mosaic does have a downside CPS sell signal, and U.S. Steel Letter X has a downside CPS signal. So those are the ones that we talked about, are the ones that are going to be on my list for tomorrow, and hopefully we can dig our teeth into those and get something going. All right, folks, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich Derrick for tradesight.